10 simple ways to make yourself happy may at first glance seem a rather mundane affair, perhaps even bordering on the trite. But I assure you, within these simple ways lie profound truths about the nature of joy, the human condition, and our place in the grand tapestry of existence. Let us begin by considering what we mean by happiness. Is it merely a fleeting emotion, a temporary state of pleasure, or is it something deeper, more enduring? I submit to you that true happiness, the kind we shall discuss today, is not a mere feeling but a way of being. It is, in essence, a reflection of our alignment with our deepest selves and with the divine order of the universe. In thy work, Mere Christianity, I wrote, God cannot give us a happiness and peace apart from himself because it is not there. There is no such thing. This, I believe, is the key to understanding true happiness. It is not something we can manufacture or acquire, but rather something we uncover as we align ourselves with a higher purpose and a greater good. With this understanding in mind, let us explore the first of our 10 simple ways to make ourselves happy. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude, my friends, is not merely a polite social convention or a fleeting sentiment. It is a powerful force that can transform our perception of the world and our place in it. When we cultivate gratitude, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we have, from what is wrong to what is right. In The Problem of Pain, I wrote, we are not necessarily doubting that God will do the best for us. We are wondering how painful the best will turn out to be. Gratitude allows us to see the best in our circumstances, even when they are challenging. It opens our eyes to the myriad blessings that surround us, blessings we often overlook in our rush through life. Begin each day by noting 3 things for which you are grateful. They need not be grand or extraordinary: a warm cup of tea, a kind word from a friend, the beauty of a sunrise. As you practice this simple act, you will find that your capacity for gratitude grows, and with it, your capacity for joy. This brings us to our second way. Engage in meaningful work. Work, my dear friends, is not a curse, but a blessing. It is through our labor that we participate in the ongoing act of creation, that we contribute to the world around us. As I wrote in The Weight of Glory, the load or weight or burden of my neighbor's glory should be laid daily on my back, a load so heavy that only humility can carry it, and the backs of the proud will be broken. Meaningful work need not be grand or world-changing. It can be as simple as tending a garden, preparing a meal for loved ones, or offering a kind word to a stranger. The key is that it aligns with your values and contributes. When we engage in such work, we tap into a wellspring of joy that flows from the knowledge that we are fulfilling our purpose. Our third way to happiness is to nurture relationships. Human beings are inherently social creatures. We are designed for connection, for love, for community. In the 4 loves, I explored the different types of love that enrich our lives. Each of these, affection, friendship, romantic love, and charity, has the power to bring us profound joy. But relationships require nurturing. They require time, attention, and care. Make it a priority to spend quality time with loved ones. Listen deeply, share openly, offer support freely. As you invest in your relationships, you will find that they become a source of immeasurable happiness. This leads us fourthward. Practice forgiveness. Forgiveness, my friends, is not weakness. It is not condoning wrongdoing or forgetting injustice. Rather, it is a powerful act of liberation from the burden of anger, resentment. And as I wrote in The Weight of Glory, to be a Christian means to forgive the inexcusable, because God has forgiven the inexcusable in you. When we hold on to grudges, we chain ourselves to past hurts. We allow the actions of others to continue to harm us long after the initial offense. By practicing forgiveness, we free ourselves from these chains. We open ourselves to the possibility of healing, of renewed relationships, of peace. Our fifth way to happiness is to embrace learning and growth. The human mind is a marvelous thing, capable of endless expansion and development. When we engage in learning, when we challenge ourselves to grow and improve, we tap into a deep well of satisfaction and joy. As I wrote in The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, adventures are never fun while you're having them, but the growth that comes from these adventures, the knowledge gained, the skills developed, these bring a lasting sense of accomplishment and happiness. Make it a habit to learn something new each day. Read widely, engage in meaningful conversations, pursue new skills or hobbies. As you expand your mind and your capabilities, you will find that your capacity for joy expands. This brings us to our sixth way. Connect with nature. In our modern world, we often find ourselves disconnected from the natural world. We spend our days in artificial environments, surrounded by screens and machines, but there is a profound joy to be found in reconnecting with nature. As I wrote in The Lion, The Witch and the Wardrobe, I hope no one who reads this book has been quite as miserable as Susan and Lucy were that night. But if you've been up all night and cried till you have no more tears left in you, you will know that there comes in the end a sort of quietness. You feel as if nothing was ever going to happen again. Nature has a way of putting our troubles into perspective, of reminding us of the grand scale of existence. Spend time outdoors. Walk in a forest, tend a garden, gaze at the stars. Allow the rhythms of the natural world to soothe your spirit and uplift your heart. Our seventh way to happiness is to practice mindfulness. In our busy lives, it's easy to become caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. But true happiness is found in the present moment. As I wrote in the Screw Tape Letters, the present is the point touches eternity. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in each moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. It allows us to fully experience the richness of life, to find joy in simple pleasures, to navigate challenges with greater ease. Begin by taking a few minutes each day to simply be. Focus on your breath. Observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. Notice the sensations in your body. As you develop this practice, you'll find that it becomes easier to remain present and engaged throughout your day, enhancing your capacity for joy and contentment. This leads us to our eighth way. Cultivate a sense of purpose. Happiness, my friends, is not found in the pursuit of pleasure or the accumulation of possessions. It is found in the pursuit of meaning, in aligning our lives with a higher purpose. As I wrote in Mere Christianity, aim at heaven, and you will get earth thrown in. Aim at earth, and you will get neither. Take time to reflect on your values, your passions, your unique gifts. How can you use these to contribute to the world around you? What legacy do you wish to leave? When we live with purpose, even the mundane tasks of daily life take on new significance. We find joy not just in achieving our goals, but in the journey itself. Our ninth way to happiness is to practice self-compassion. In our quest for growth and improvement, we often become our own harshest critics. We berate ourselves for our failures, hold ourselves to impossible standards, and deny ourselves the kindness we would readily offer to a friend. But true happiness requires that we extend compassion to ourselves, as well as to others. As I wrote in The Problem of Pain, we are not metaphorically, but in very truth, a divine work of art, something that God is making, and therefore something with which He will not be satisfied until it has a certain character. Remember that you are a work in progress, that growth and learning inevitably involve mistakes and setbacks. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer to a dear friend. And finally, our 10th way to make ourselves happy. Embrace faith and hope. Faith, my dear friends, is not blind belief in the face of contrary evidence. It is trust in a higher power, in a grand design that gives meaning to our existence. As I wrote in Mere Christianity, I believe in Christianity as I believe that the sun has risen. Not only because I see it, but because by it I see everything else. Hope, similarly, is not mere wishful thinking. It is a confident expectation of good, an anchor for the soul in times of trouble. Together, faith and hope provide a foundation for lasting happiness, a joy that persists even in the face of life's challenges. Now, you might be wondering how these 10 ways fit together, how they form a cohesive path to happiness. The answer, I believe, lies in their interconnectedness. Each of these practices supports and enhances the others, creating a virtuous cycle of joy and fulfillment. When we cultivate gratitude, for example, we become more mindful of the present moment. As we engage in meaningful work, we often find ourselves connecting with nature or nurturing relationships. When we practice forgiveness, we open ourselves to learning and growth. Each of these ways to happiness reinforces the others, creating a robust and resilient joy that can withstand life's inevitable challenges. But let us not be naive. Implementing these practices, simple as they may seem, is not always easy. We live in a world that often seems designed to distract us from what truly matters, to keep us caught up in a never-ending pursuit of more wealth, more status, more possession. As I wrote in the Screwtape Letters, indeed, the safest road to health is the gradual one. The gentle slope, soft underfoot, without sudden turnings, without milestones, without signposts. It requires conscious effort, deliberate choice to step off this road and onto the path of true happiness. It requires courage to choose gratitude over complaint, forgiveness over resentment, purpose over mere pleasure. But I assure you, the rewards of this choice are beyond measure. Consider, if you will, the difference between pleasure and joy. Pleasure is fleeting, dependent on external circumstances. Joy, on the other hand, is enduring. It wells up from within, a result of living in alignment with our deepest values and highest purpose. As I wrote in Surprised by Joy, joy is the serious business of heaven. By implementing these 10 simple ways, we are not merely seeking momentary happiness, but cultivating a lasting joy that can sustain us through life's ups and downs. We are, in essence, aligning ourselves with the divine order of the universe, fulfilling our purpose as human beings. But perhaps you're thinking, Lewis, this all sounds well and good, but how can I possibly find the time to implement these practices in my busy life? To this, I would say that these ways to happiness are not additional tasks to be added to your to-do list. Rather, they are a way of approaching life itself. Gratitude can be practiced in the moment it takes to take a breath. Meaningful work can be found in the tasks you already perform each day, simply by shifting your perspective. Nurturing relationships happens in the small interactions of daily life. Mindfulness can be practiced while waiting in line at the grocery store. Each of these ways to happiness can be woven into the fabric of your existing life, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. Moreover, as you begin to implement these practices, you may find that they create more time and energy in your life. Gratitude reduces stress and increases resilience. Forgiveness frees up mental and emotional energy. Mindfulness enhances focus and productivity. By making ourselves happy in these simple ways, we actually become more effective and efficient in all areas of our lives. Now, let us address another potential objection. You might be thinking, but Lewis, isn't the pursuit of happiness itself a form of selfishness? Shouldn't we be more concerned with the welfare of others? This is a valid concern, and one that deserves careful consideration. Indeed, a life lived solely in pursuit of personal happiness would be a shallow one indeed. But the happiness we are discussing today is not of that nature. As I wrote in The Weight of Glory, it would seem that our Lord finds our desires not too strong, but too weak. We are half-hearted creatures, fooling about with drink and sex and ambition when infinite joy is offered us, like an ignorant child who wants to go on making mud pies in the slum because he cannot imagine what is meant by the offer of a holiday at the sea, we are far too easily pleased. The happiness we seek through these 10 ways is not a selfish pleasure, but a deep joy that overflows into the lives of others. When we are truly happy, grateful, purposeful, compassionate, we become better able to serve others, to contribute to the world around us. Our joy becomes a light that illuminates the lives of those around us. Consider the ripple effect of a single act of kindness, born from a heart full of gratitude and joy, or the impact of meaningful work done with purpose and dedication. The happiness we cultivate through these practices doesn't diminish the world's supply of joy. It adds to it, multiplies it. As we near the conclusion of our discourse, I urge you to reflect on how you might incorporate these 10 simple ways into your own life. Perhaps you might choose one or two to focus on initially, gradually incorporating the others as you become more comfortable with the practice. Remember, the goal is not perfection, but progress. As I wrote in Mere Christian, we may indeed be sure that perfect chastity, like perfect charity, will not be attained by any merely human efforts. You must ask for God's help. Even when you have done so, it may seem to you for a long time that no help, or less help than you need, is being given. Never mind. After each failure, ask forgiveness. Pick yourself up and try again. The same applies to our pursuit of happiness. There will be days when gratitude feels impossible, when forgiveness seems beyond reach, when purpose eludes us. But do not be discouraged. Each attempt, each small step brings us closer to the joy we seek. In closing, let me share with you a final thought from the last battle. But for them, it was only the beginning of the real story. All their life in this world and all their adventures in Narnia had only been the cover and the title page. Now at last they were beginning chapter 1 of the great story which no one on earth has read, which goes on forever, in which every chapter is better than the one before. My friends, let these 10 simple ways to make yourself happy be the beginning of your real story. Let them be the key that unlocks a life of greater joy, deeper purpose, and lasting fulfillment. Let them be the compass that guides you through life's adventures, always pointing you towards growth, towards love, towards the best version of yourself. Thank you, and may you find the courage, the wisdom, and the joy to implement these practices in your own life. May your journey be filled with gratitude, purpose, and an ever-deepening happiness that enriches not only your life, but the lives of all those around you. As you leave this hall today, carry with you the knowledge that happiness is not a distant goal to be achieved, but a way of living to be practiced each day. In every moment, you have the opportunity to choose gratitude, to engage in meaningful work, to nurture relationships, to forgive, to learn and grow, to connect with nature, to be mindful, to live with purpose, to show compassion to yourself, and to embrace faith and hope. Remember, as I wrote in The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, courage, dear heart. It takes courage to choose happiness, to live with intention and purpose in a world that often seems chaotic and challenging. But I assure you, the rewards of this courage are beyond measure. So go forth. My dear friends, armed with these 10 simple ways to make yourself happy, implement them in your lives, not as a burden or an additional task, but as a joyful exploration of what it means to be fully human. Let them guide you towards a life of deeper meaning, richer relationships, and as you do so, remember that your happiness is not just for you alone. It is a gift you give to the world, a light that illuminates the lives of those around you. In choosing happiness, you become a beacon of hope, a source of thank you, and may your journey be filled with the joy that comes from living a life of purpose, gratitude, and love. Go forth and make yourself happy, and in doing so, make the world a little brighter.